So what happens when your ideal client shows up on your Facebook page? Are they able to build that know, like, and trust factor right away? Or are they confused and put off by your branding? Today, I want to share my secret formula to help you make your Facebook super attractive to your clients. If you're using Facebook to market your product, your service, or your business, then you want it to represent your personality, your brand, and have a unique voice that is very authentic to you. People make purchasing decisions based on their feelings. And when people feel connected to a brand or a personality, then they're more likely to purchase. So if you've been posting and getting crickets, or just not the type of engagement that you know you deserve, then stay tuned. I'm Casey. I help busy mamas running a business lead healthier, happier, and more beautiful lives. The way we're going to do that today is by growing your Facebook audience and engagement. All right, so your goal with your Facebook is to deliver a very clear and consistent message. Those two pieces, clarity and consistency, are so important for developing your brand. Think about how people interact with Facebook. It's often scrolling quickly by, and so you want to be able to share your message in a very clear, concise way. So if you post something funny or engaging and someone pops over to your profile, you want to be so clear with your branding that they quickly understand what it is you do, who you serve, and how you do it. So the way you do that is by showing up with your brand message consistently. If you confuse people, they'll just click right away and not understand what it is you even have to offer. So putting a plan into practice, like creating your 5 brand pillars, that helps you become consistent on your Facebook profile, and it helps you get clarity with your message. Now, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you are your own brand. You are the face of your brand, and you are the person that people are going to choose to buy from or not. So you want your brand to be as authentic and genuine as possible. The more human your brand is, the more relatable it will be to people. And when you're relatable, then it builds that know, like, and trust factor, which then leads to people feeling comfortable making a purchasing decision with you. So what is this 5 pillars of your brand concept? It's simply picking the 5 major themes that have to do with you, your brand, or what you offer and how you serve your community, and then touching on those things over and over and over again on your Facebook posts. Now, obviously, you're not going to be posting the same exact thing every day, but when you select your 5 brand pillars or your 5 themes, then you can touch on all 5 of those things in a different way, and hopefully in that provide more clarity on who it is you serve, what it is you do, and how you do it. So start thinking about who it is you serve and what it is that you offer. Think about your vibe and your personality and exactly who you want to attract to your Facebook profile. You'll know that you've got this right when you get people starting to send you things saying, "I thought of you when I saw this." If you get that clear on your brand messaging, you know you've done well. For example, I am a self-proclaimed crunchy mom. I love all things holistic health, organic foods, home birthing, cloth diapering, baby wearing, all of that realm of crunchy mama. So when people send me, or when people see crunchy mama memes or funny videos, they'll often send it to me because I share that little piece of my life again and again and again. So people really know that that is me. Those are my values, and that is a part of my brand. Now, I've got some questions for you that you can go through to help to get your wheels spinning so that you can clarify what your 5 brand pillars are. But let me give you an example first. I am a mama of 3, and those kids are all up in my business all the time. They are a big piece of who I am, and being able to serve mothers is a big part of my brand. Number 2, it's crunchy, natural, organic living. So I am all about living naturally, sustainably, green, eco, organic, holistic health. All things crunchy related is definitely a brand pillar of mine. And there are many different ways that I can work that into my content. Number 3 is mindset, because I strongly believe that mind over matter is how we get things done. I recovered from a traumatic brain injury that had a huge piece of mindset weaved into it. And that's something that I often work into my content by the way of quotes or stories or motivation or anything to help people focus on their mindset and how that can have lasting impact on everything else in their world. Number 4 is entrepreneurship, because that is just a piece of my heart, and having owned a 24-hour cafe for over a decade and now building my business online, it's just something that I absolutely love to talk about. And number 5 is humor. I just like to break it up with something that is lighthearted and fun, and I love to laugh even at the complexity or difficultness of life, and so humor is another piece that I work into my brand. So just giving you my list of my 5 brand pillars probably got your wheels spinning on what your 5 are. The way that you can weave them into your Facebook content so that you can make your profile super attractive to your ideal client is to just rotate through those. So if you have 5 brand pillars, often you'll touch on one of those major themes within the week. Now, of course, major red flag, you do not want your Facebook feed to be full of sales and spam and promotion. You do not want to focus only on selling people things. You want to focus on providing valuable content as much as possible. Sometimes valuable content will just be relating to people. Sometimes it'll be humor. Sometimes it'll be an article that you share or a quote or anything that makes your ideal client's world a little bit better. The beauty of having your 5 pillars in your brand is that you don't have to worry so much about what in the world am I going to post today. You can just scroll through your timeline and see what brand pillar you haven't touched on recently and find some content that will fill that gap. And then what happens is when people come to your timeline, they'll scroll through, and people aren't going to look at your whole timeline. They'll often just scroll through the most recent post. So if you are constantly rotating your brand pillars, then they'll be able to get a real clear and consistent picture of who you are, what you offer, and how you do it. One quote that I love is that you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that absolutely applies to social media as well. So by picking your 5 pillars and keeping those rotated on the top of your profile, that's when people make their first impression of you. And you don't get a second chance with it, so you want it to be relevant. All right, so let me share some questions with you. That way you can get your 5 pillars nailed down. And remember, nail these down as best as you can. These are overarching themes, but if they do evolve over time, that's totally fine. You might get more clarity as you go through this process and start creating content under the 5 themes. All right, so some questions to think about. What does your brand care about? What do you offer? Who do you offer it to? What makes your product or service or opportunity different than your competitors? What is really relatable about you and your brand? What differentiates you between you and your competitors? What does your audience really care about? What are your favorite things to talk about? What is a unique piece about your personality? What could you talk about endlessly without preparing? If you were to give a TED Talk, what would it be on? What about your brand or your product or your service makes your ideal client's life better? In what ways are you changing the world? What kind of impact do you want to have? What do you have a unique perspective on? What do people often ask you advice for? What's your favorite hobby? All right, those are some questions to get you thinking. And now the next thing I recommend you do is go ask the people that are closest to you. Ask them, what do I stand for? What do you think about when you think about me? What do you think about when you think about my brand? That should really help you narrow in on your major 5 themes or your 5 brand pillars. Now, once you narrow it down to your 5, I highly recommend that you place those somewhere where you can see them all the time, especially when you're working. So you can take a sticky note and you can put them right on your computer or above your desk. You can put them on your mirror, and then whenever you go to create content, try to see how it fits into one of those themes. Of course, you're not limited to only posting things that are within those themes, but you do want to keep those top of mind and top of feed. Once you do this for a few weeks, you'll notice that all of your content in your feed starts to develop a consistent and clear message, have made your content and your branding very attractive. Now your clients will know exactly what you stand for, what you offer, why you do it, and your unique style. If ever you are unsure whether your message is coming across, then just scroll through your recent timeline and see if you can find one of the themes represented in your most recent posts. Now, I hope you found today's episode very valuable. This is a mini series that I'm doing. If you want to watch the previous episode where I talked all about improving your Facebook reach organically, then go ahead and I'll put that link right above. Now, I hope you'll join me back here, same time, same place next week for the third episode in this series.